This week on Nightly News, we take a look at one of our reporters' view of an issue that isn't so black and white.
Later, we'll grab your attention with our latest short film.
Get ready, Vanguard,
because you're watching Nightly News.
Good morning, Vanguard, and welcome to this edition of Nightly News. So, Nick, I know that our Vanguard football team has played a lot of tough games this season.
Let's take a look and see what happened a couple weeks ago when Vanguard went head-to-head with one of our crosstown rivals.
Hello. Today we have a big game between two of the top teams in Marion County, the North Marion Colts and the Vanguard Knights. Before the game kicked off, there was a special tribute to the 9/11 victims and to their first responders. Both teams got ready to enter the field. The Colts came on first by having the father of Johnny Taylor walk them out. Then came the Knights. The game starts off with a kick from Lucas Klein to number 26, Amir Howard. In the first few minutes of the game, quarterback Caleb Seiler gives a 50-yard pass to number 6, James Mitchell, for the first touchdown of the game. The score is 7-0 and it's early in the first quarter. The Colts kick off to number 3, DJ Jenkins, who's only a sophomore and makes a great run. The Knights struggle to get a first down and are forced to turn it over. Number 18, Freddie Swain, receives the ball and moves for a couple yards. A flag on the play pushes the Colts into the end zone, but number 18, Freddie Swain, makes a huge catch. A short pass to number 6, Justin Watkins, who's only a sophomore, puts the Colts' second score up on the board. The Colts kick off again. This time, number 14, Lake, receives it for a good run. The Knights quarterback Nkosi Perry scrambles in the pocket and makes a great run. The Knights struggle again to get a first down, with a huge tackle by 6'4" Jordan Woods. Number 1, Justin Walken, blazes across the field. The first quarter ends and it's number 22, Emmanuel Tuggerson, who makes a big hit on Freddie Swain. The Colts turn it over and it's Nkosi Perry's pass to number 14, Rob Lake, for a good game. Number 1, Alonzo Taylor, puts the first points for the Knights up on the board. The Knights fail to get their extra point with complications on the play. The Colts give the Knights a safety. Nkosi Perry gives an excellent pass to number 11, Moses, for lots of yards. But despite being so close to the end zone, the Knights weren't able to get another touchdown. The Colts trapped in the back, throw long to Freddie Swain, who picks it up again. In only a 3-play drive, the Colts were able to score again. The Knights come close to the end zone again and score. But this time their attempt is blocked by number 45, Jordan Woods. The score is 14-21 and we're in the second quarter. Number 6, Tyree, receives it and pushes it forward. Nkosi Perry strikes again and finds Alonzo Taylor, who takes it up all the way for a touchdown. But the Knights find problems again getting their extra point. Number 9, Cameron Mackey, dashes in to give the Colts their 4th touchdown. The Knights turn it over again and it's their sophomore, Justin Walken, who dances into the end zone. A huge handoff mistake between Nkosi Perry and Alonzo Taylor costs them another touchdown. We're heading into the third quarter with a score of 42-20. Vanguard is moving with a nice catch by Rashad. Nkosi Perry fires long to find Lake again for a nice touchdown, but they go for the extra point and the attempt isn't good. Time is running up for Vanguard. But with a team that doesn't give up, Nkosi Perry and Mr. Lake connect again to bring them close to the end zone. 1 minute left, the pressure's on. Nkosi Perry finds Lake again in the end zone, and it's a touchdown. They go for the extra point, but it isn't good. The final score will be 32-42. This was definitely a game to be remembered. I'm Adam Broughton, bringing you some Friday Night Football with Nightly News. Thank you.
Well, it's time for our commercial break.
Don't go away. We'll be right back.
We're for guys who wrench, torque, tune, who see dirty hands as proof of a hard day's work. We're for guys who like to make things go faster, higher, further, and stop them in an instant. Who love tools and power. Guys who like to figure it out when no one else can. Who can tell the type of bike by the sound of the engine. Why are they so important? Because without them, this won't get delivered on time. And he doesn't cross the finish line, and the world literally stops moving. At UTI, we don't settle for good. We drive for great. The world's top companies help build our programs so you can get the education you need to achieve success in the automotive, diesel, motorcycle, collision repair, and marine industries. We're for success, your success. Universal Technical Institute.
So it seems like a lot of scary stuff has been happening in the news lately.
I totally agree. Sometimes the voices of young people can get lost in the chaos of mainstream media. Our reporter, Mitchell Long, gives us an inside look on a controversial issue.
Over the past couple of years, there has been an uprise on the focus of police shootings of unarmed black men. These unnecessary deaths have in large received no justice for those killed. Protests have been sparked across the country, especially in the cities where the shootings have taken place. Ferguson, a small town in Missouri, which most had never heard of until the shooting death of Michael Brown, the community came together and began to protest for the lack of justice. These peaceful protests were met with police in riot gear and heavy artillery. Quickly turned the protests into riots, and a state of emergency was announced. These shocking scenes sparked a large conversation not only about police training, but about the ever-increasing militarization of police. But President Obama in May of this year put an end to police stations' ability to buy or acquire any type of military-esque weaponry. The real issue at hand is the social perceptions unequally put on black men and people of color as a whole. These perceptions look at people of color as somehow more violent or up to no good merely because of the color of their skin. Michael Brown is not the only person to die in the grips of the police. Eric Garner, a black man who was selling loose cigarettes, was tackled by 6 officers and was choked to death, even after screaming that he could not breathe. His death sparked protests after a video was released, but just like in Ferguson, no justice came. Another case is that of Tamir Rice, a 12-year-old boy who was shot to death by the police, all because he was playing in the park with an airsoft gun. Even though caught on camera, showing the officer drive by and shoot him in under 2 seconds with absolutely no warning, I think you can already guess that no justice came. How, in a country based on the principles of equality and civil liberty, can an entire group of people constantly have to fear those meant to protect them? These 3 big cases are only a drop in the ocean of cases relating to shootings committed by police. These shootings have sparked a movement known as Black Lives Matter, which is trying to start reform in police training and end the targeting and racial profiling of minorities in general. These stories show the fault in police training in this country. Officers are taught to shoot first and ask questions later. This is even more dangerous when police officers have preconceived racial biases. These shootings do not just affect those of the black community, it affects the entire country as a whole. The training of officers in this country must be reformed. More laws for body cams need to be enacted, and society as a whole needs to learn to see beyond the color of a person's skin.
Savannah, do you like action movies?
Sometimes, but I like it when there's a story behind all the explosions and car chases.
Well, then maybe you'll like our latest short film. Carter Paradiso brings us The Heist. Well, that's all we have for this week, Vanguard.
Be sure to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for our latest updates.